Hello, I'm Nathan Smith, one of the co-founders and the development director here at Yield Investing. We've just purchased this property from one of the large social housing entities that's in the area, a property that's been empty for quite a while, as you can tell, and as you'll see as we walk around the property. But it's something that we're quite excited about. Purchased a couple of weeks ago. Renovations are about to start and get it up to spec. But I wanted to talk about how we've been able to purchase this property by working with investment partners and capital partners that we get in with on the ground level, provide them with a strong return on investment whilst allowing us to purchase more of these types of properties. So this property is going to be a 6-bedroom bedsit HMO. That means that each bedroom is going to be large enough to have an ensuite, a kitchenette with cooking facilities, and then it's got a large kitchen space that can be used as a shared space for each person. The reason that we like these types of properties is that we can aim for investment valuations or more of a commercial refinance when we go to refinance and go to a term lender on this property. But it allows us to do bigger properties, different type of property that we do sort of day in, day out, and it's something that we're excited to do more of this year. We purchased this property by partnering with a investor, a capital partner that has helped us with the funding to be able to purchase and renovate this property. The reason that we are doing this, and I'm excited to do this a lot more going into 2025, is that at Yield Investing, we have our own funds tied up and always purchasing different properties. And we get offered, a vast amount of properties in the Northeast where we're based that definitely work and work for our housing providers and our investment strategy. So we thought to partner with investors on the ground level to help raise the purchase price and the renovation for this property to allow us to buy it, get it up to standards, lease it to the provider, and then look to refinance. We feel this benefits both parties because the investor gets a very strong return on their investment. They get a first charge security, so they're very heavily securitized against the property, as well as a 6 to 12 month term loan, which allows us to get the property up to spec and be able to repay them and their interest within that time period. Going into the numbers on this property, so we needed £160,000 to be able to purchase and renovate this property. That allows us to get it fully up to spec and the whole development completed. We raised that from an investor, so they receive a 12% per annum interest rate, 1% a month, to allow us to use that capital to get this property up and running. It's something that we're looking to do a lot more this year, is to work with capital partners who can get in on the ground and help us to produce more of these properties, whilst giving them a solid return on their investment, good securitization, and allows us to go and purchase more of them. So on the £160,000 that we've raised from this investor, once this property is up and running and has the lease in place, it'll generate £32,000 of rental income a year. That's on a long-term social housing lease from a housing provider that's local to this area. Use the property for different types of social use that they obviously run from the local authorities. That gives us a very strong rental yield. It means that the cash flow in this property will be very good once it's up and running and once it's refinanced. We estimate that upon a refinance and upon a revaluation, to the spec that we do it and the type of property that it is, that we'll be aiming for more investment and commercial valuations. When we've spoken to the term lenders that we work with and the banks that provide the mortgages, if we can combine a larger HMO type property like this with a strong lease from a good operator and good rental income, we can usually aim for investment valuations. This means that we'd expect this property to be worth roughly around £250,000 to £280,000 once it's done and refinanced and been valued. Once it's been done, it means that we can pull back our capital that we've raised from the initial investor, be able to pay them back their capital plus their interest. We can keep ownership of the property and obviously benefit from that income long term. We feel like it's a win-win for both sides. The investor gets a very strong return on their investment, heavily securitized and in the short term than they would by being able to buy the property. And as well, we're able to buy more of these properties and do more deals than we need to be able to do. We've got big demand from housing providers, big demand obviously with mortgage lenders and our exits overseas. So works very well, and it's exciting for us to be able to do more of these going into this year. So I'll give you a quick show around the property just to give you an idea of what it looks like now and then what we're going to do with the property once we get into the renovation work. So at the minute, this is like a small kitchen, doesn't work to HMO sizes, so we have to amend the kitchen. All this is going to be ripped out and redone. So this wall is going to be removed. Create a nice open space, obviously as a communal sort of lounge dining space with obviously the kitchen, but it means that we can extend the kitchen space as well. Give more cooking facilities, give more worktop and preparation facilities, obviously sinks and whatnot as well. Makes it into a nice open room. I think it'll give a bit of a better feeling. a lot better than that American flag that's on there as well. That will be coming down. So you can see that the property has got some damp issues. It's got water ingress coming in from the side. This is either coming from the bathroom that is directly above this, or obviously coming through the penetration of the wall. Coming through into the hallway. So all this wallpaper and whatnot will be removed. We have to fit new fire frames and new fire doors onto the property. Obviously nice big room. I think it's about 16 square meters, this room. Our plan is to put in an ensuite where we can, so that they've got internal and self-contained shower and toilet facilities. It's got a nice bay window that currently overlooks a very overgrown garden, but that'll obviously all be taken away and removed. So moving on to the third bed sit and studio. So it's a bit of a, not funny layout, but it needs quite a bit of work on this one. So you can see there's currently a bathroom in there, and there is a bedroom through here. So our plan is to open up this space. So we're going to knock out that wall completely in there. We're going to stud off on the front where the stairs come up. That allows this to be a nice open bed sit again, increases the size to meet minimum bedroom requirements for a bed sit. But again, as it's already got a toilet there, very easy to put in an ensuite. We can put in the kitchen and the cooking facilities, and yeah, allows us to create the third bed sit of this property. So we've got to put in all the fire doors, so we will make a bit of a mess on these walls, but has to be done for regulation. And we'll probably start the wall somewhere around here, so that this bedroom just becomes fully open with an ensuite and with the kitchenette on the other side. Again, all fire doors and with the emergency lighting system and smoke alarms. Onto this side, this one is another room, ensuite and kitchenette again. Decent sized room, nice high skirting board. We've got a fire escape window there as being a bottom opener, which is required obviously on first floors, so that helps a lot. The property is going to get a full rewire. It's going to have a full new central heating system. It's going to be obviously be redecorated. I think this is probably the best room in the house for a bedroom. Whoever gets this one who's going to be living here is going to be very lucky. Nice old fireplace. We're going to keep that in, obviously already been boarded up. Can't have fireplace in bedrooms anyway, so or actual sort of live fires in a bedroom, so good that it's already boarded up, but that'll stay in. It's quite a nice feature, and again, just give this a nice clean up, and with the fire doors and emergency lighting and whatnot. But I think this is probably the best room in the house. Nice and big, nice and open. The double windows give it lots of natural light. All these original banisters and stuff, you don't see these much anymore with the detailing on them. Looks good, doesn't it? Get them all repainted up and looking good. So as you can see, it's had a bit of water ingress again from the roof. We need to change that Velux window so that it's got a mechanical opening in case there's any smoke, or if there's any fires in the property, that opens by itself from the fire panel that we'll install. Gives it obviously a bit more safety, can get all the smoke out if, touch wood, there's no fires, but allows us to do it. This is the final bedroom. So again, nice big space. It's not very often in these old sort of traditional properties where you don't see the massive slope on the roofs, but because this has already had the dormer and built with the dormer, allows us to keep our ceiling heights, which is obviously a problem in attics. If you've got a big sloping roof, then you can't class the floor space that's anything less than 1.5 meters high. So by having this in and built and the roof nice and high, it allows us to use this bedroom and keep another bedroom space active. That's going to be an ensuite because it's already built in, and we can get the waste out quite easily. Again, with a little kitchenette somewhere with cooking facilities in as well. Decent sized room, I think. Makes it look nice and bright. And this is the final room of the house. So unfortunately, this room is just too small for us to be able to use. Because we can't really fit an ensuite anywhere, these walls are on an angle, so it doesn't allow us to really, fit in an ensuite nice and tidy and give us enough floor space on the rest of the room. This is going to be redone and used as an office for the provider that's going to be put in place on this property. You can use this to have staff on site, have a little desk, have filing cabinets, can speak to the tenants and give sort of more of a day-to-day care, rather than obviously having them on the other office and come to the property every day. They can base themselves here, speak to the tenants, and use this as an office space from the property. Allows them to keep an eye on everything and make sure that everything's running smoothly. We're definitely going to get rid of this nice unicorn wallpaper, get it all stripped out, still put the fire doors and whatnot on, the smoke alarms in each room, give it a good tidy up and make it look good. But that's the property. Like I said, it's going to be 6 bed sits in this property with a large shared communal space that we saw on the ground floor. Going to work really well for the provider. Obviously having this office space in there as well gives them a bit more of a touch-based feeling with the tenants and allows them to be more hands-on with them. yeah, got a housing provider lined up and very keen to see how this one looks when it's done. I think it's going to be good.